Hi, Kathy Babbitt here, Madison, Alabama, and today we are going to make some really good fudgy brownies. Okay, so what I got here, and I hope I have sound this time because last time I did it, I had to delete the video because it had no sound. What I have here, I'm a work in progress. This is a stick of butter and 4 ounces of chocolate chips that I have melted together. And I did this just for speed purposes already, and I've got a nice smooth butter and chocolate. Now when you're using your chocolate chips, for those of us who are gluten-free, this matters. For example, on Nestle, right on the back of this package, sorry about the background noise, it will say gluten-free on it. The same thing with your Heath chips. I've got Heath chips in that we're going to be putting in a minute. This one says gluten-free right on the package. You're going to watch for that. It is my goal that you all become label readers, okay? Because that's the only way to be sure. And if it's not on the label, there's some things like Smucker's jam that is gluten-free, but it doesn't say so on the label. You can scan the barcode. You can scan this barcode right here and get the information. You can call them up. They have a phone number on these things. Call them up. I did with Purdue one time chicken, because sometimes with chicken, they inject it with a marination, and it's a saline solution so that it retains moisture when you overcook it. It's just really that simple, and it adds weight, actually. That's why when you cook baked chicken and there's water all over the pan, you're thinking, where did this come from? Well, that's where it's coming from. And some of them, there's flour in there, so it stays suspended. Well, I called up Purdue to make sure. Just call them up on the phone. It's your health. It's your child's health. But this organic coconut sugar we're going to be using says gluten-free right on the package. So even though sometimes it'll say it's manufactured in a plant that has those things manufactured in it, if it says gluten-free on the label, it's because it was tested. Okay? So we've got our chocolate and we've let this cool. The one thing you want to be really careful of is you don't want to put, like with this is going to have eggs in it, you don't want to take it right off of the heat and put eggs in it because you'll get scrambled eggs. They cook. Your egg whites cook at a very low temperature, so you always want to make sure that you get it at least under, I always say 120 degrees to be safe. This is, the recipe calls for brown sugar. I like coconut sugar, so I'm using coconut sugar instead. It's got some lumps in it, so I'm just taking the measuring cup and kind of breaking them up a little bit. It's not lumps like brown sugar gets. So we're going to add our sugar, and then we've got, that's a 1/4 cup. We've got a 1/4 cup of white sugar. Now you could use all coconut sugar in here. That would be fine. I have made this with monk fruit, which I particularly like to use. So we're going to stir that up, and we're just stirring it in. Now I'm going to add, this is 1.5 cups of almond flour. That's the only flour going in here. I don't have a flour mix for this because it's just almond flour. So you just mix this up. And we are going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. Now when you're adding something like vanilla or any kind of a liquid, you're better off to measure it off to the side. That way if it splashes, you don't wind up with more than what you want. We're going to dump that in there. And then we've got 2 eggs going in. Another easy trick on this is make sure you're breaking your egg into something else. Another small dish, not directly into there. Because for instance, on this one, we got a shell. It's easy for me to get that shell out when I've got it in a separate dish. It's also a clear dish, so if there was a shell in there, outside of the one that I just saw. But if you break it into here, then you're trying to find it. Not good. And we got another egg going in, a second egg. I don't see anything wrong with that one. Sometimes you get a bad egg too, bloody egg, something like that. And we're just going to mix that up. And that's the base. So once I get the eggs all incorporated in here, and we're just hand mixing. You don't need a stand mixer for this, handheld mixer, anything like that. Just mix it up. And now I'm going to add to this, I've got here 2 ounces of milk chocolate. I've got 1 ounce of Heath chips and 1 ounce of white chocolate chips. And they're going to go right in. And that is it. It is just that simple. I'm going to mix those in. You can add nuts. This is yours. You're making it. That's the coolest thing about baking for yourself, is you can make anything you want in there. You can do anything you want. Spray the bottom of the pan. And then this just goes right in. It's nice and thick. Move this over so you can see it. It's nice and thick. And it just drops into the pan. Now you can do little brownies. You have to have one of those little mini brownie pans. Those are kind of cool. Do whatever you want. It's yours. In there, put nuts in there. Whatever you want. You don't want to put any of that in there? Yeah, that's okay too. It's yours to make however you want. We're going to spread that out, and this is going to go in a 350-degree oven, preheated oven. And it's going to be in there for probably about 20 minutes. I would keep an eye on it though. It does rise up some, even though. But the cool thing about almond flour is I didn't have to put any xanthium gum in there. I didn't have to do anything. So that's it. That's what we have for today. I'm Kathy Babbitt. I have a line of baking mixes. I don't have this because, again, it's just almond flour. It's really super simple. And my books are on Amazon. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. It's Kathy Babbitt, Kathy Babbitt, at the Babbitts, TheBabbitts, like Sam.net, or our website is www.thebabbitts.net. Let me know if I can do anything for you. Thanks. Bye.